Morning guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to teach you how to restore faded and dull headlights correctly. There's lots and lots of videos I've seen online where people teach you how to do it and then polish them. It's not the correct way to do it. I've got my mate Dave's fishing wagon in today, an old Astra estate that he uses to go fishing in, and the clear coat has failed on the headlights and they're all dull and faded. You can see this is quite typical. You see this on lots of different cars with plastic headlights. They all go like this after a period of time when they get old. You can see the clear coat's failed down there and all of that lot. Stone chips get there, water gets underneath them, it starts lifting, and over a period of time you end up with headlights like that. These ain't actually the worst I've seen. I've seen headlights a lot worse than that. Today what I'm going to do is walk you through the steps of how I'm going to do it and the correct way to do it. When people sand them down, which is what you have to do, and then polish them up, you're not adding any UV protection. Yes, they'll be shiny, yes they might last you 6 months, but shortly after that they're going to fail again and they're going to go wrong. What you need to do it correctly is you need to re-clear coat them with a decent quality clear coat with good UV protection on it. Now this is something you can do at home. You can now buy decent clear coat in a can, a 2K one, with a little push button at the bottom that releases the hardener, and that's a very, very respectable quality clear coat to use. So you could do this yourself at home and it'll be a proper fix rather than sort of bodging it. It's not bodging it, but you're polishing something but you're not protecting it anymore. So when you do polish it, it's not a long-term fix, basically, is what I'm getting at. So I'm going to walk you through the steps, show you what sandpapers I use, show you how I do it. It's been many years since I've pulled headlights out of an Astra. I think you've got to take a bumper off. I don't know, I'm going to have a look in a minute, but if it's too much grief I might leave them in situ, tape it up and do it like that. I may well do that actually, because most of you won't want to remove your headlights and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll have a look. Let me get some tape, some sandpapers and stuff like that, get all my bits and pieces ready, and then we'll go from there. See you in a moment. Right, there we go. What we've done is we've removed the grille. Dave couldn't be bothered to remove all the bumper, so he said let's just do it in there, and it's more realistic for you guys and all. If you're doing it to your own car at home, you're probably not going to strip it all down either, so it's fine. We can mask all around it, we can do that, but the grille was 4 little clips and we popped it out, so at least we can get down the side there and make that all good on the sides. So yeah, I'm going to do that. That's as far as we're going to go with the stripping. I'm going to get a bucket of water and some sandpapers, and I'll see you in a mo. There we go. Got all the tools that you're going to need to do this. A bucket of water. I've got some wet and dry sandpapers, 400 grit, 600 grit, 800 grit, some masking tape. And what we're going to do is we're going to mask all around the headlight areas, anywhere that we don't want to sand. We're going to start with 400 grit by hand. I'm going to do this all by hand to be realistic, so you guys would be doing the same. There's no good me getting out a £500 Indasa sander and extraction system and blah blah blah, because you're not going to have it. You're not going to have that at home, and I know this. This can all be done by hand, so we're going to do this all by hand. You can all go and get yourself some sandpapers. Different headlights have got different amounts of damage. Some headlights you might only need to do 600, 800 grit, stuff like that. It's a case-by-case situation. This, I'm going to start with 400, then go 6, then go 8. I think finishing on 8 should be perfectly fine, to be fair. So yeah, what I'm going to do is going to get this taped up, and then we're going to start sanding with 400, then 6, then 8. I'll put you on time lapse, show you the progress, and I'll speak to you in a bit. Right, there we go. As you just saw, all sanded with 400 grit now. Don't be alarmed, this is what they will look like, but we've removed all of the flaking clear coat and all of the patches that were all bad, caused by stone chips and stuff. This is quite normal, so that's what you're aiming for. And when you're sanding these down, you're not pushing into the sandpaper, you're just letting the sandpaper do the work. You're not trying to smash the headlight with the palm of your hand. Just be nice and gentle and let the sandpaper do the work for you. And we was just wiping it down, drying it off, and I was using a bit of me panel wipe there. You don't have to use panel wipe, it's just speeding the drying up so I can see where I'm at. So now we'll move on to the 600 grit, smooth all these 400 grit scratches out, and start the up gritting process. So most of the damage is removed. We may well have got away with 600 grit on these headlights, but we chose to use 400, and it's done perfectly fine. It's removed all the flaking clear coat and stuff like that. So yeah, I know it looks a bit alarming, the condition they're in at the minute, but don't worry, you'll see as we move along the steps how it turns out. So we're going to change up to 600 grit now, and we'll see you in a while. There we go, that's the 600 grit done. All we got left to do now is move on to the 800. Dave's knackered, he's having a fag break out there somewhere. He can't take it anymore.
I'm semi-retired.
Semi-retired, not used to manual labour. Yeah, that's kind of what you're looking for, a nice uniform scratch. It's going to look cloudy obviously. Let's move on, let's get the 800 grit done and we'll go from there. There we go guys, all up gritted to 800 grit. Just give it all a wipe down. I blew it out with an airline in all the crevices there. I know some of you might not have an airline whilst you're doing a job like this. You can always nick your better half's hairdryer, but I don't condone that. That got me in a lot of trouble last time I done that. So I've put it in my oven, pulled it forward, just going to let it dry off in the sun, make sure everything's good and dry. We'll remask it all. I'll sheet the car. Obviously use lot might not have static sheeting, but you can improvise and use whatever you like. But for the purpose of this, we'll turn it round, drive it in there, throw a sheet over it, mask it off, and then we'll move on to the next stage, which is clear coating it. See you in a bit. There we go, guys. All done. Let me turn this fan off. Here we go, massive improvement. Obviously, bearing in mind, you guys can all do this at home. This is something that can be done quite easily, and it's breathed a lot of life back into them. I don't know how long he'll have this car for. This is literally, he uses this to go fishing in. That is it. But they're going to last for many years to come, and that's all that's required. It's not a massive job. Anyone can do it, like I said. If you go and buy the 2K clear coat in the can, you'll get the same sort of results there. Only thing I would advise, obviously with a spray gun, it atomises better and it goes on a bit thicker. So I've done the sort of standard 2 coats on there. If you're doing it with a spray can, it might take 3 or 4 coats. But as long as you remember to let it flash off in between coats, give it a good 10 minutes, you'll be fine. You shouldn't have any problems, and then you can achieve the same results. They've come out pretty nice, to be fair. We could have went a bit more into it and sanded and made it a bit more finer and stuff like that, but 800 grit's fine. I mean, with spray can, 800 grit will still be fine, to be honest. I think you'll be fine. But yeah, really good results. Hasn't took very long, and they're now going to last him years. So always better to do it correctly. Like we said before, if you was to polish it, it's going to last months. It's a big difference, and now he hasn't got to bother worrying. It'll pass the MOT, and it won't affect the aim pattern and stuff like that it can do when they're all damaged like they was. So yeah, that's it. Sort of sorted out today. Thought I'd film it for you guys. Thought it might be interesting, and I know some of you will have a car that is suffering like that, or have had one, and now you know how to repair it properly. If you like the video, please consider subscribing. I always forget to ask. I know loads of you guys watch my content without subscribing, and if you thought it was any good, give it a thumbs up. And as always, we'll see you very soon on the next one. Stay safe and be lucky.